dear friends, dear participants. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to the 45th Consultative meeting of the Antarctic Treaty. This is the first time Finland has the honor of hosting the ATCM meeting of parties. It makes me especially happy that we can meet again here in person, and I warmly thank you all for making the effort to come to Helsinki, despite quite a long journey for many of you. After the cancelled 2020 meeting and the experience of many virtual and hybrid meetings of the last few years, we probably all agree that nothing beats personal contact and familiar face-to-face conversation. Let us make the most of this opportunity and make the meeting a success. For some of you, this may be the first time visiting the Arctic. I would therefore like to start by saying a few words about Finland as an Arctic country. We are currently in the early summer of the Northern Hemisphere, which is characterized by a mild climate and white nights. This time of the year also the Arctic tern, known for its long yearly migration, arrives from Antarctica to nest on our Arctic shores. Winters in Finland, on the other hand, can be very harsh. Days are short and temperature can drop below -20 degrees. This has forced us Finns to cope with the cold climate and find sustainable solutions to secure living conditions and the functioning of society in extreme conditions. It is no coincidence that Finland is one of the world's leading icebreaking countries. Only a couple of 100 meters away from our meeting venue is the home port of our 6 largest icebreakers. It's quite often said that we don't talk much, we probably don't break the ice by speaking, but we can really break the real ice by our icebreakers. The Finnish Arctic strategy classifies entire Finland as Arctic. Finland's Arctic interests and Arctic expertise are relevant to the whole country, and on the other hand, the Arctic character of entire Finland enhances Finland's international image as the Arctic country. All activities in the Arctic region based on ecological carrying capacity, climate protection, principles of sustainable development, and respect for the rights of indigenous peoples. The objectives arising from Finland's economic interests must be also examined from this perspective. The Arctic Council is a key component of Arctic governance and the preeminent forum for circumpolar Arctic cooperation. The Council's work on sustainable development, environmental protection, biodiversity conservation and climate change is of primary importance for us. We have cherished the idea of keeping the Arctic free of geopolitical tensions. Unfortunately, Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine has seriously impacted the Arctic cooperation. The Arctic Council has not been able to convene normal meetings or make decisions since the spring of 2022, and many projects have been put on hold. The invasion has not only violated the principles of the United Nations Charter and the OSCE, it has also significantly hampered the traditionally flourishing Arctic cooperation. Looking back over a period of 10 years, significant changes have taken place in the international operating environment. Climate change has further accelerated these changes both in the Arctic and Antarctic environment. We see these changes happening around us, and even though they may seem slow, they will inevitably affect the life on Earth and its inhabitants now and in the future. We have received enough scientific evidence to know that these changes are irreversible and call for urgent action. While the Arctic and the Antarctic are in many respects different, they also have a great many factors in common. Climate change and its impacts manifest most clearly and with stronger effects in the polar regions. However, the effects are not limited to these regions only. Sea level rise caused by melting polar ice is an example of changes that have global impact and can have particularly dramatic effects, especially on people living on coastal areas and islands. With good reason, we can celebrate the Antarctic Treaty as a great success of international treaty-based cooperation. Throughout the years, the treaty has provided a solid mechanism for governing the Antarctic. It has served well in its original function and even succeeded in developing new instruments when necessary, such as the environmental protocol. Above all, the treaty has proven its strength as an agreement of peace and cooperation. It ensures environmental protection for the entire continent and dedicates it to scientific research. In today's turbulent world, this remarkable achievement deserves full recognition. It is essential to continue to maintain the integrity of the Antarctic treaty system and ensure that Antarctica remains a peaceful continent where international cooperation can thrive. Just against this background, it is all the more regrettable and condemnable that one consultative party violates, through violent hostilities, the spirit of the treaty and prevents the other party from fully realizing its goals. Finland stands with full solidarity with Ukraine. The effects of rapidly advancing climate change, growing tourism and use of natural resources are examples of emerging challenges that we did not need to consider in the early years of the treaty in the 1960s. These challenges have increasingly come to our tables, be it United Nations in international climate negotiations or more regional cooperation such as the Antarctic Treaty. At the same time, the scientific community produces new and increasingly alarming information about the state of the Earth. Scientific evidence is unequivocal. Climate change is not a distant threat somewhere in the future, but it's already now endangering human well-being and the health of this planet. We must take urgent action now to combat climate change and its impacts. I would like to express my thanks to the scientific community, which for decades have been producing valuable information for the protection of Antarctica. This work will be extremely important also in years to come. It is our generation's responsibility to find solutions based on the best available knowledge and ensure the sustainability of the planet for future generations as well. I am happy that the representative of the next generation, Helena Gualinga, is with us today. And as young climate activists, of which I have met many during this post as a state secretary, they say that they are not the generations for the future, they are generations for the now, today. They are living today in the midst of these challenges, and we need them to be part of finding these solutions for the planet. I am especially pleased that for the first time in the history of the Antarctic Treaty, the meeting in Helsinki dedicates an entire day to climate change. This is, of course, a continuation of long-term work with the AT system, which has produced a good foundation for further efforts. We, the parties, must now confirm our strong commitment to continue the work and make the right and wise decisions to protect Antarctica. We also have an important role in taking this message forward to other tables where climate issues are negotiated and decisions are made. Together, we can send a powerful message from Helsinki to our climate negotiators, who will gather next week in Bonn at an UN climate conference to prepare for the next COP meeting in Dubai in December this year. Dear participants, dear friends, I would like to summarize our mission in the slogan of the Helsinki meeting, from urgency to action. We know that there is urgency to combat climate change and its impacts. We also have the agency, capacity and power to do the right choices. Let's act accordingly. I would like to encourage everyone to be forward-thinking and participate in the discussions in a constructive spirit. As the host country, Finland hopes that this spirit will prevail and inspire ATCM discussions during the next 2 weeks. I wish you all constructive and fruitful discussions and trust that you will make the right decisions, and heartfully thank you again for traveling to Helsinki. Thank you.